Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Official Happy Princess. You're always the first person to come on. You know that, right? Always the first. Good evening, everybody. Hello. Hello, good evening, good evening. Happy keep me up with the network, please. Good evening. Okay, let's get straight to it. Let's do our good evenings together. Let me do my good evenings with Mawuli. Let's do it together. Let me get him on straight away. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Ready for you.
Yes, sir. Good evening. I'm just still doing the good evenings.
No worries, no worries. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to this week's New Generation Africa. We've got a very special guest with us today. Yes, OC, I see you. I see you. I see you. We've got an amazing guest with us today. And we're going to be talking about all things New Generation, all things Africa. So, bro, I know we've got, let's say, I would say we've got limited time, but I would say we've got, about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just to try our best to inspire somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try our best to inspire somebody, and we're going to do that through you telling your story, not just telling your story, but at every junction, I may stop you and we may break it down, but I've got questions here for you, but I don't want to be scripted, so I want you to flow. I want you to flow as much as possible.
I got you. Whatever you need to know.
Cool. So the first thing is you're Ghanaian by nationality, right?
Yeah. I was born in Ghana.
But you're known all over Nigeria. But we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But what I want to know is your story.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a degree in accounting and finance, but you've ended up in the film industry. So I just want to, as much as you want, as quickly as you can, or however you want to do it, just take us through your story.
Got you. I think maybe like people who already know like my movie career, they might know a bit of the story, but it's born in Ghana. That part was pretty simple. So the first part of the story is generic. I went to a regular high school. I went to a regular middle school. Obviously, it was one of those things where I came from a family that even though they didn't necessarily have everything, they were just like, yo, like you're gonna have like the best of everything, which was where I got really lucky, because it's not like my parents were the richest, but they gave me the best of everything. Like I went to the best schools. So when I was done with high school, I went to school in America, which was a huge sacrifice for my parents, obviously, but they made it happen. And over there, so obviously I was studying finance and business because that's what my entire family does. That's what we were all trained to do. That's what I thought I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. But as with a lot of people, depending on where you find yourself, different opportunities come your way, and it's up to you to decide whether you're going to explore them or not. So when I was a teenager, I was in New York for a little bit, and I got approached by this modeling agency because I had done like some amateur pictures. It wasn't even serious. Like I had a cousin taking photos of me and put them online. I wasn't a model. He took photos of me and put them online, but people saw them and assumed that maybe like because they were professional photos, I must be a model. So they approached me and I signed on with the New York talent agency, which meant that I started doing a bit of modeling on the side, which wasn't the plan. I was still in school. I was still studying my finance and everything, but I was doing a bit of that. Now fast forward a couple of years. As a regular accountant, I still have like a regular job and everything. But there's a big company who's looking for a big drink company who's looking for someone to be their brand ambassador. Now they see the photos that I took way back and assumed that I was a professional model, and they reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to do this thing with blah blah blah?" Now because I had taken that chance a couple of years ago, I had opened up a little doorway, you know, on a different side. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize it at the time, but this is like 4 or 5 years later. I opened up a little doorway, and now it was time to decide that there's an opportunity that's come out of that doorway. You can actually use it. So I had my regular job. I was working at one of the big auditing firms. I had a regular 9 to 5, but for some reason I was like, you know what?
Wow.
I'm gonna try this. Like, I'm gonna try and do this job. So I ended up being a brand ambassador for Martini, and that became
Okay.
sort of like the catalyst, I guess, because the idea
So let me
was to do the Martini.
let me
Talk to me.
let me interject very briefly. So you was doing accounting or finance. That was what everybody in the family did. You know, you was going
Yeah,
down the family route, but
yeah.
circumstance just brought another opportunity to you, and
I'm on.
it looked lucrative, so you took it. But let's say, I know you're going to carry on the story, but let's say you didn't get into modeling and fashion at the time. What,
Mm-hmm.
where was you going with the finance and accounting?
So the whole idea with the finance and accounting was to be able to be a business owner. You understand? I,
Hmm.
I think there's dignity in labor. There's nothing wrong with working for people. But for me, I knew that my end goal would be to own and run my own business. It didn't matter what business it was. I just knew that I would have the skills. If I was making toilet paper, if I was making space cards, if I was making whatever, I
Yeah,
didn't care
yeah,
as long as I was owning and
yeah.
running a successful business. So that was the whole point behind the business and finance background.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, cool. You can shoot with the story. I just wanted somebody to catch that there, because
Got you.
what I'm trying to get from you is, a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
time we can think that we're on a certain course in life,
So I'm
but
saying, yeah.
circumstance happens and we actually find what maybe we're actually called to do. So for anybody that was watching, you can be doing something now, but it may not be what you're actually going to do. Something may still come up,
Exactly,
you know.
exactly.
So you can
So I
shoot.
guess the key for mine is just don't be. No one is saying you have to like jump at it and leave everything you're doing and like go for it. But don't be afraid to say, hey, I may be doing this, but this opportunity is here. So anyway, I joined the campaign. I thought I was gonna just go do the Martini campaign, be a brand ambassador and
Yeah,
everything, and then I was gonna go back um and just be a regular guy, be a regular thing. But the
yeah.
campaign took off in such a way that it was completely unexpected. And fast
Mm.
forward, it's like 5 years later. I'm still in entertainment and I'm still working with it, and I've just been great. So like blessed enough that things happen to go well for me. Maybe hard work or whatever you want to put it on. But 5 years later, I'm still
Wow.
here. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we ended up
Wow.
here.
Wow.
It wasn't planned per se. Someone
Wow.
didn't think I
But
was gonna be
now,
a musician.
like 5 years down the line, we see you on our
Mm-hmm.
screens. We see you
Yeah, man.
in some of the
Yeah, man.
best films. We see you doing, a madness. But what I want to talk about now is the transition from
Mm-hmm.
Ghana to Nigeria. How was that transition? And we're going to get to a very tricky question, because I'm going to ask you what country is better. But let's talk about the transition from Ghana to Nigeria. How did you cope with that? And how are you coping with that?
I'm not gonna lie. The move was probably one of the scariest things that I've ever done.
Well,
Because yes, it's not like I knew many people in Nigeria. It's not like I had a base in Nigeria and whatnot. When I came to Nigeria for the first time, I didn't know anyone. I
well,
literally came and I left the same day because I just came for one to meet with the producers of the show that I ended up shooting for Hush. Uh,
okay.
but but it was one of those things where there was a huge opportunity in front of me, and it was either I jumped off a cliff or I remained up there. And
Yeah,
Nigeria,
yeah.
and coming to Nigeria was literally jumping off that cliff.
Wow.
So I jumped off the cliff, and here we are. You
You
know,
said in one of your interviews previously that you would only thrive in Nigeria if Nigerians allow you to. Now, when I heard that, I was like, to dawn on me that, okay, so you mean it's who you know, I guess. But if you want to elaborate on that, by, you can only thrive in Nigeria if they allow you to.
let me put it like this.
Mm.
I guess in a lot of places, talent alone is usually enough to push you far enough. As in there's a system that's set up that if you're talented, chances are you can go to Juilliard and you can get into a great musical school and you can end up performing in a symphony somewhere or in an orchestra somewhere or whatnot. There's like steps that will take you there. Over here, there are no such structures. It's not like you can go to a fancy film school and then when you graduate from film school, you end up in an amazing play and then you end up in a great movie. There literally is none of that. There is no structure.
Wow.
Which means the only way you can succeed is if the system or the people that you're trying to appeal to, they decide that, you know what, push them on. So I did what I could do. I put what I could offer out there, and then they decided they liked it enough to support me. But the reality is, everyone knows it, especially in Nigeria, it's impossible to do it without the system being behind you. You understand? It has to be an effort where people have agreed that this guy, we want him to be wanting to succeed and we will help him to succeed. And they have pushed me ridiculously, both Ghana and Nigeria, Africa in total completely, because I have support from Kenya, from South Africa and everything. But they have to decide. It's not up to you.
That's absolutely crazy, because I think in other systems, if you're good at what you do, it just means you've got an automatic green pass to kind of do what you need to do at whatever level. But in Africa, I've been holding these conversations and everything is like the system must help you. There's always a man that has to take your hand. So it's like you said, it's not just talent. You can be as talented as you want, but if you don't have the right people speaking for you or taking you where you need to be, then there's always going to be that blockage. So
I saw
I would say, who would you say changed your career for you? Who did you meet that kind of took you by the hand and said, I'm going to make sure you do well?
So it wasn't even I'll do that, but it wasn't even just one person. Let me say.
Okay.
But before I cut you off, I was gonna say I saw this like incredible video today. This woman, I think her name is Carla Harris. Check on it again. But she was talking about how talent and hard work and everything is never enough to get you where you need to go. This is not just the point that she was making was, if you don't have people who are going to be speaking for you in a room where your name is being considered, chances are you're not going to get that far. So there's going to be a lot of times where there's a group of people in a boardroom somewhere deciding, oh, who do we want to give this thing to? And then there's a list of names. And when they mention this person, they mention, if when your name is mentioned, there's no one there to speak on your behalf. There's no one that can say, oh no, that guy's pretty good, or that guy is blah, blah, blah. Chances you're not going to go very far. So it's absolutely important to, yes, there's hard work, yes, there's talent, but your network has to be something that's going to push you forward. And you mentioned who specifically took my hand. I don't know if one person took my hand per se, but I think one of my biggest talents is finding or connecting with great energies, finding people who I need to be friends with. People who don't have the right energy, I usually stay away from them. I don't hate them; we will still be friends, but I just won't be best friends with you. I came to Nigeria.
So association is key. That's what I'm getting from you. Association is key, and you have to be around people that are constantly pushing you, but you also have to be around people that, of course, are connected.
Yeah, no to it. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. It doesn't mean that you should go kissing ass or you should go like trying to brown nose everywhere that you can. What you should do is you should put your skills and your talents and what you can do in front of people who are high enough to make decisions, and then let them decide. So anyway, so I came and I worked with Mnet. That was why I moved to Nigeria, and obviously Mnet is a huge platform. It's the biggest network in Africa. It was a great place to start from. Became a part of the Mnet family. Like I worked for them. I was hosting Studio 53, which ended up at 53 extra. So being in that core network was obviously a huge help. But that being said, I had like a couple of people who just straight up believed in me, man, and like took chances. So like Moa Budu, for instance, was dope. I worked with Mnet, but she had me over. I worked with her for a bit, hosting the spot, and then I did Chief Daddy for her. I did Castle and Castle for her and everything. And she didn't know me. You know, it's not even like it was a huge name in Nigeria, for instance, but obviously she was willing to take a chance because I guess maybe she believed in what I had to offer. The Mnet guys as well held me down complete, you know, like Rogers or female, and then like the entire Mnet family. I was fortunate enough to spend a year shooting with RMD. He played my dad in a series.
Wow.
And his energy is just one of the best that I've ever created. So he sort of took me under his wing as like a son, basically. And
Wow.
he would just do whatever he could to push me in the right direction or take me out and introduce me to people and whatnot. Uh, so I think the key, the point that I'm trying to make is you should always connect with energies that fit the kind of thing that you're trying to do. Because chances are those people will push you forward. If it's a positive energy, they will push you forward. If it's negative, when you're not there, they're gonna spoil your day. You
Wow.
understand what I'm saying?
You know, and what I'm getting from you as well, is that, you know, mentorship is key.
Thank you. That's good. Mentorship, yes.
Mentorship is key. You know,
Yeah.
people were able to direct you in your field, and you know they were able to, you know, come together and say, you know, we're going to invest in this guy and we're going to push him forward. So I think as you grow, you're soon going to be in that position as well. So there's going to be a younger person coming up, you know, that was like you. And what would be your advice to them? If there's somebody watching now that's, let's say, 20 years old and they want to get into the film industry, what are you going to say to them? And they haven't got everything you've got, because we're going to go on to that in a second. But
Yeah.
they're just very passionate about the film industry. They're into entertainment. What's your advice for that person that's 20 years old, that maybe doesn't come from a good family, doesn't
Yeah.
have enough funds to go to the best schools? What do they
Absolutely.
do?
Absolutely. Um, Growing up, like as a kid, I always used to wonder like why don't I have all these other things that everyone else has? I was a pretty selfish kid. Like I had a lot, but this is me saying, oh, why don't I have that as well? Or that person has this, that person has that.
Yeah.
If we had 3 cars at home and my friend had 5 cars at home, I'm thinking, why don't I have 5 cars at home? If we would buy 5 cars, I'm thinking, why don't we have 7 cars at home?
Yeah.
That's just, but it taught me a lot about who we are as human beings.
Mm.
We're like super tough to please,
Yeah.
you know. So the only thing that I can say to like people who are trying to come up is it's not always about you, you know.
Mm.
You, you're just one person in a million
Yeah.
trying to make it the same way everyone else is trying to make it. Same way you think you're talented, there's a million other people who think they're talented as well. They're also looking for opportunities. It might work out for some of them, it might not work out for the rest of them. The only thing that you can do is put what you have, put it forward. If you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're a writer, if you're a finance person, if you're an accountant, a scientist, a doctor, whatever talent you have, make sure you're like ridiculously good at it and put it out there. You know, the rest isn't up to you. If you put it out there and you're good enough, I guarantee you doors will open for you, and I guarantee you that people will notice. If people don't notice and if it doesn't work for you, it's possible that you're not good enough to be doing what you're doing. You
Wow.
understand what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. So,
Mm.
for instance, there's times where when I first started my career, I needed to host this really huge show, huge national show, and presenting in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
Um, the reality is, at that point, I wasn't ready for it. I
Mm.
wasn't ready for it. But obviously, I gave it my best shot and everything. And I remember one time I needed to go on stage. This is to present in front of like 1,000 something people and a million people watching at home.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, yo, this is crazy. Like, you're not ready for this. It's like, what are you even doing here? You know? But at that point, it was like 30 seconds to go on stage. And I had to tell
Mm.
myself, at this point, there's nothing you can do. You
Yeah.
understand? All you can do is do your best. If you do your best and you still fell short, that's okay. Maybe your best just wasn't enough. You understand? So
Wow.
I did, so I did do my best, but I
Mm.
wasn't as amazing as I should have been, which meant
Okay.
that my best at that point it just wasn't enough, and I had to accept that. I'm like, Gary, you weren't ready for this. You have to do a bit better. You have to grow yourself a bit more and everything. And these are things that you have to accept. So
These are
do what you can. Put your best shot out there, and then the rest of it is not up to you, man. It's not up to
okay.
you.
Okay. But okay. So these are hard truths that I think not just we can't just, you know, use these for the entertainment industry. I think these are for everything we do in life. I mean, you have to strive to be the best at what you do,
Yeah.
because, and you know, I'll move on to another thing about, you know, young people especially. I always say this, that you shouldn't just focus on, young people don't get opportunities. I think if you're good at what you do, doors will just naturally open for you because you're good at what you do, right? So another thing I would say is, okay, so somebody's maybe not the best at what they do, right? When in your industry specifically, do they come to the realization that, okay, you know what, I need to find another career path. This isn't going to work? Because, I mean, yes, you can be old and get into the entertainment industry late, but I think most people get in when they're young. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
So
most people get in when they're young, yeah.
At what age or at what stage would you then say, pack it in? You're not that good. Start thinking about something else. Because I get a lot of DMs from people in the film industry and saying, do you know anybody? And I'm thinking, I mean, connections are good, but if you're good, you will get into some sort of position that should get you where you're meant to be. So what's your advice to those people? When do you pack it in? When do you say, okay, let me think of something different? I know it's quite tough, but let's just be blunt for those who may want to get to the entertainment industry.
So this is gonna be kind of blunt, yeah. But so let me use like myself, so people don't think I'm like trying to attack them. My older brother, he's also into finance. And when I was growing up, I was one of those kids who, like, in middle school and everything, I was either like first or second in class, like always. Just all the time, first or second, first or second, first or second. And I was thinking to myself, yo, I'm like the smartest guy out there, man. Like, this is me. I'm the smart guy. But finished middle school and I went to high school. And the high school I went to, it had some pretty some pretty amazing smart kids there. You understand? All of a sudden, I wasn't first anymore. I was 8, sometimes 12.
Wow.
Sometimes,
that must have been tough.
You understand me? And it used to drive me crazy. And I would always be like, oh my God, oh my God. But at some point, I had to accept that, yo, my G, you're not as smart as some of these kids. And that is just a fact. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. They are just smarter than you. Maybe not smarter. Maybe they're more hardworking. Maybe they study better than I do. I had to accept it. You understand? So I wasn't like, oh my God, why am I not first? I said, my guy, you're not smart enough to be first. I wasn't. There were people who were smarter than me. So this brings me to what I'm doing now. I was doing everything else. I was doing finance and everything, and my brother was doing it as well. And I realized I wasn't doing it as well as he was. He had passion for it, for the finance. He loved what he was doing. So I had to tell myself, yo, how about you try something that you might be really good at, or you might be the best at? You understand? So when that opportunity came and I was doing like the whole modeling and presenting and acting and everything, I finally felt like, yo, I'm actually in a place where I could work hard and probably be the best at this, And that was the realization that I had, to be like, oh, yo, there's nothing wrong with leaving your accounting job and whatnot, if that's what it takes.
Sorry, these comments are killing me. Oh my God!
Yeah, man.
Trying to keep a straight face, man. Oh my God! I'm trying to keep a straight face. These comments are killing me.
Thank you. Stop distracting us.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing. So if you're not smart enough, that's okay. Find what you're really good at, and that should be more than enough to like put you on the right path.
Yeah. Wow, powerful. No, bro, these comments are killing me, man.
You just must be an actor in the future. You guys are crazy, man.
Oh God. Wow. Okay, bro. So let's get into the industry now, right? Let's get into the industry. So, the film industry is powerful, right? It's powerful, it's amazing. And I feel like the film industry has the ability to create a specific or a kind of narrative about a nation. When we talk about Hollywood, I mean, my little cousins that grow up in Nigeria, they always want to go to America or the UK. And I think it's because of what they see on TV.
Yeah.
They see Hollywood, they see the soaps, they see the TV programs, and they want to be there. And I think the film industry plays a huge part in projecting, in telling the narrative of a nation. So I think Nigeria, over the years, of course, Nollywood has come out, and Nollywood is now producing many films, and a lot of money has been pumped into Nollywood. But
yes,
what can be done better in the industry to, make Nigeria more desirable, make Africa more desirable? I mean, it's always going to come down to finances, but I think that there needs to be more emphasis on maybe going to acting schools, or maybe, just doing more training before you actually get into acting.
yeah, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, absolutely. Let me put it like this. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's Africa's time now," or "Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's finally Africa's time," or whatnot. I personally think it's always been Africa's time. Um, People just didn't want to notice. We've always had the best stories, the best culture, the best fashion, the best whatever, the best music and everything. Now, the world has finally decided that, look, we're going to turn it and we're going to look at you guys, which means that we can't waste this period that we have now. This is like probably going to be one of the most defining decades for the continent, because for once, everyone is looking at us like, what are these guys doing? Nicki Minaj is tweeting, he wants to come to Nigeria. Nicki Minaj says she wants to come. Beyonce is doing an album with African people. He's talking about how he's half Nigerian and everything. Like, everyone just wants to be a part of what they can see is going to be like a blow up, which means that we need to sort ourselves out. We survived for a while because nobody was really looking at us, so we got away with the old Nollywood of having terrible production and not trying too hard because nobody really had their eyes on us. We were the only ones watching our own films, but now the whole world is looking at us.
Yeah.
So we have a chance to show that, yo, listen, now that you guys are all looking at us, all right, cool, this is who we are. Let's get ready and let's show you what we can do. Which means top to bottom. People at the top need to go for more training courses.
Yeah.
People handling the cameras need to go get some work done as well. People who are acting need to go get some work done as well.
Mm-hmm.
People who are doing styling and fashion and technicals, the people who are doing electricals, everything. Literally everybody needs to go and sort themselves out, because now the spotlight is on us. Think about it like a stage. It's lights on now, so it's time for us to perform. We survived in the past by misbehaving and getting away with it.
Yeah.
But if you think about it now, like now this is a real thing. So let's see what we can do.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah.
So what do you think that a lot of the time parents, carers
No, they said just laugh.
Oh man.
Oh man. Yo, you guys are the worst.
You guys are kidding.
You guys are the
Bro,
worst.
I've been trying so hard to keep a straight face. I'm trying to be serious, but I think I'm just gonna laugh throughout the whole thing, man. I don't
But
know if I
guys,
can
just laugh, because these people aren't gonna forgive
I
you.
think I'm just gonna laugh. When I'm ready to laugh, I'll just laugh, man.
Just
Of
laugh,
course, I need to
man.
block Alex. It's Alex that's making trouble.
The one, she's the one misbehaving. Alex, behave yourself. But how far?
Alex, just
Where you hiding? Okay, let me get back. Let me be serious again.
jeez, man. Okay, so a lot of the time, parents and carers, they're always like pushing, especially African children, to do, to either be a doctor, to be a nurse, to, get into certain.
You can't blame them. You can't blame them. But you finish first.
So what is it that you would say to parents or to the government to help increase participation in your industry?
I wouldn't just say increase participation, because it's not like we need people to come and start acting. We have more than enough actors. If you're not good, don't come and join the industry. We don't need you. We have more than enough people who are ready to this stage. No, come on. It's not just about saying we need actors, so everybody should come and act and everything. No, if you have a passion for it and you're actually good, absolutely. So what I would say is that the parents would have to find out what the kids are actually good at. It has nothing to do with maybe you want your kid to be an actor. Maybe your kid is just terrible. Maybe you want your kid to be a doctor, but his head is dead. Or his head is not dead. His head is a little deader than the rest of What I'm saying is, it's not just about saying, because we love, especially in Ghana. I don't know about Nigeria. We love to say, my son is.
Oh,
We don't even say we say he's with Ecobank. Tunde, he's with Fidelity now. He's with First Oil now. We love to say that shit. We just love to be able to point out that he's working with some big company somewhere because it gives us that feeling of validation. Is your son good at what he does? Is he making money? Is he actually progressing in life? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But our parents would love to be able to say, oh, he's with the bank now. He's with whatever. That being said, the parents are just gonna have to find out what we're truly good at. It's not easy, but we can't just push people into things because we want them to be in those things. But if your son is pretty good at, or your daughter is pretty good at something, you might as well try. The reason I said I don't blame the parents is because back in the day, who was making money from acting or music or whatnot? Very few people. Let's be real. Let's be real. So they wanted us to be safe. They assumed that the jobs that would pay are the banking jobs and the thing. Now obviously the tides have shifted and entertainers are making more than just about anybody in the world. So everybody wants their son to be an entertainer or a footballer or whatever. But your son might be terrible at football, so you can't force it.
yeah, yeah, powerful. So, let's move on to you now. What's
All right.
next for you? Because, you're still young, you're in the industry, you're going through the ranks. Would you ever,
Daniel, there's
bro,
an important question over there.
what's the
You know,
question, sir?
someone says, "Can we know you?" Yo! Oh my God! I beg you. He said, "Can we know you?"
We'll do a question and answer at the end. By God's grace, we'll do a question and answer at the end.
Cool.
Um,
What are you gonna say?
but let's talk about you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is next for you? You're in the industry at the moment. You're going through the ranks. What is next for you? What's next?
Obviously, I think the next point would be for me to be more in control of of like my own destiny, I guess, of the things that I'm doing. Because we're all trying to push Nollywood or the African film industry in the right way. And there's a bunch of people who are doing different things. There's people who are doing it by acting, people who are doing it by producing and everything. And I've done quite a bit of acting. So the next step obviously would be to go a step above and be more in control of what's going on. So I started a production company about 3 years ago. And
Yeah.
we kicked things off, and it started out well, but I got distracted, and I left it for a little bit. So I'm thinking now is a good time to. I've been fortunate enough to do a couple of great films, so now I should be pushing on that side as well. So hopefully in a couple of years I can also put out my own amazing film, and I can also give the opportunity to somebody who's up and coming to become a star.
Can I ask you something? Why is it that in Africa, especially, actors always become producers? Is that like the number one progression route? Is there something
Not in
about
Africa.
wanting to be in control
It's not in Africa actually. It's it's
everywhere?
everywhere. If you notice if you notice in Hollywood, there's no big movie or series that comes out where the main actor is not a producer.
Ah,
Tom Cruise is the one producing his own films. Now, if you hire Dwayne Johnson, he has to be a producer. A TV series like Big Little Lies, where they had Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman and all those other people. You can't
yeah.
get those guys on a job unless you're giving them producer credit. 24, Kiefer Sutherland. Getting to the end, you have to make him a producer. It's only once you get big enough, you can't pay that person his worth. The most you can do is give the person back and shares. So it's a natural consequence of I guess how well you're doing. Either you're doing well and you're making money, or you're doing well and you're being sought after. But it's actually not Nollywood. It's a Hollywood thing, if anything. Every single big actor is you have to give him producer credit. You lie bad. How much are you gonna pay him?
Interesting. Okay, so apart from the film production company, do you have any other businesses?
Yes. So I run like a it's sort of like a venture capital unit where I run it with a couple of my colleagues where we identify different projects and we fund them. Obviously, in exchange for profits or just for for shares. And so we're invested in agriculture, we're invested in real estate, we're invested in clothing. So we have a clothing line, which I hope to share with you guys pretty soon. We're not ready for that yet. And yeah, so that's about it right now.
Okay,
Obviously,
and you know, at the beginning of your story, you said that you was into accounting and finance, and
yeah.
then circumstances took you to get into modeling, get into acting, and everything. So, if this business, shoots off, if this business works, would you leave the industry and focus solely on that venture capital business?
Fortunately for me, you never have to leave the industry per se because I shoot one film a year and I'm still in the industry. You understand? So
Yeah,
I still get to do both. This whole time I've been running the production company, we've been doing the clothing company, we've been doing the real estate. The whole time I've been doing all these other films. We've been running everything concurrently. So I don't actually need to leave one for the other. If anything, one of them puts me in a better position to do well. So yeah, man.
amazing, amazing. Okay, so let's move on to. I know your nationality is you're Ghanaian.
You start Swanky and a few people from this. Can you block some certain people? Swanky, Tony Tones, all the rest of them, Derek Pencil, all those people, stop them. I don't know if I don't know if you can do it from your end, but
They're causing havoc, innit?
what were you gonna say?
So what I'm getting from you is, you have to be persistent. You have to be talented. You have to be good at what you do. You need mentorship. And I think, judging from this conversation, it's not just in your industry. It's
No,
actually
absolutely
in
not.
all spheres of human endeavor, right? So, in terms of creating a new Africa,
Uh-huh.
let's say, for example, a new Nigeria. I've been hosting these conversations so that every industry, somebody in every industry is able to talk about their industry and see how their industry impacts a new Nigeria, right? So how do you think your industry is going to impact a new Nigeria? These comments are killing me, man. I don't know why these comments are doing. I'm so good at just ignoring comments, but these comments are just getting me today, man.
Oh
Honestly, I
man.
can't concentrate.
You guys should DM him after because you see there's a lot of people
DM me,
who
man.
for you.
Nobody
Oh,
should
you
DM me. Nobody should DM me,
what are
man.
you doing? What are you doing after this? What are you doing after the live?
After the live,
Are you busy? Are you busy? Are you going out? Are you?
there's nowhere to go. It's lockdown. We're on lockdown, sir. So
Oh,
we're on lockdown here in the UK. So
very good.
I'm not doing anything.
Talk to me. What's the thing that you're saying?
So he's
The
very
new
fit.
app. Yeah.
So your industry, how does your industry contribute to the new Nigeria? How do we use your industry, the entertainment industry, film industry? How do we use your sector to chart a new course for Nigeria, a new Nigeria? Because I know how the musicians can do it. I know how
Yeah.
the politicians can do it. I know
Yeah.
how the entrepreneurs can do it. But
hmm
how does the film industry? What role does it play in the new Nigeria?
Uh, let me put it like this. I don't think
Yeah.
there's any vehicle that's as powerful as film and media. I have to add media because it's not just film, but anything that gets on TV screens across the world is probably the most powerful thing that you can have. I don't know if people are familiar with the 98, 92, the Dream Team, the U.S. Olympics basketball team, which had Michael Jordan and like a bunch of the stars and everything. Before that point, whenever they would go to the Olympics, nobody really cared, especially about basketball or whatnot. But when they got all the NBA superstars, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, all of those other guys, together, and they sent them to the Olympics for the very first time, everyone was watching basketball because it was like a big show and everything. And America used that to sell the whole vision of their country and how NBA, and that's how the NBA blew up because it's all about being able to be on TV screens on the other side of the world. So that's essentially what we're trying to do now. For the very first time, we get to tell a story. We get to tell people what Africa is like without even doing too much. Because as soon as the movie shows up on a screen in South Korea, someone's watching Netflix or whatever, and the person sees Lagos looking a particular way, or the person sees blah blah blah. We've already spoken for the country without having to or the continent without having to do anything, just by doing what we already do. And there's nothing that's more powerful than being able to access people on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now. So if anything, between music, film, and media in general, I think they're the biggest things that are going to move the whole New Africa discussion. Because there's business and there's finance and everything, but there's nothing that connects people as much as music and film. There's nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing. The same way we're watching which popular Indian we watch telenovelas and we watch Money Heist.
Yeah.
Money Heist is
Yeah.
a completely Spanish show and whatnot.
Yeah.
But all of us think that we can speak Spanish now. All of us do whatever. But it's a great way for them to show what they have, and the whole world is watching. So
Yeah.
very soon we will have things from Africa that are so big that the entire world is watching. People get to see, oh, this is what Africa looks like. That's what Nigeria looks like. That's what Kenya looks like. That's what anything looks like. So
Powerful.
hopefully it's gonna be cool.
Amazing. Amazing. And I know we're coming to the final hour of this conversation, but what I want to do is a lot of the time I don't like just talking. What I like is, okay, after the conversations we have, I want people who are actively in the industry
Mm-hmm.
to benefit from these conversations, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I want people who are actually in the industry to benefit from these conversations.
I'm listening, my G. I'm
You get what
listening.
I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
what I would ask you is, if there's anybody watching
Mm-hmm.
who's interested in your industry, who's in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you've given them advice, but I would love if you're able to put someone on, you know, direct them somehow. Anybody that's interested in film directing or who's an actor, how can you open the door for them after COVID? How do you get them an opportunity? If one lucky person is watching.
Okay. So I'll tell you this. One of the easiest ways. People think that you have to wait to get like an amazing job or like an amazing role before you can blow, or you have to maybe you've been auditioning for like a really long time, and you haven't gotten that amazing role or you haven't gotten that amazing whatever. That's okay, but you also can't sit around and keep waiting for that role to happen. It's actually very possible to put out your own content, and that's something that I'm actually trying to help people do as well because I did it and it worked out for me. In
Yeah,
terms of, I knew that this is what the quality of product that I wanted to put out was. Not many people were doing it. So I said, okay, you know what, I can't do this by myself. So I got five of my friends, and we came together and we invested and we put up a script together. We hired someone, and I acted in it myself. I gave myself a role, not by
wow,
making a movie by myself, but and it ended up being fantastic because the film went all over the place, and I was in a production that I could be proud of. That I didn't
yeah,
have to wait. I didn't have to wait for somebody to offer me the role. I didn't have to wait for somebody to release a film. I was in control of my destiny. So I would tell people who are trying to like make their way, you don't have to wait for anyone. It's very possible to put out your own stuff. You cannot do it alone. So what I would say is connect with people, like-minded people, other actors who are trying to come up, other film directors who are trying to make their name, other camera people who are trying to like do something good. All of you guys get together and decide that yo, this is our dream. We don't have money to do everything, but together we can actually come up with something amazing. Because think about it this way: you won't have to pay the cameraman what you would usually pay because he has shares in it. You won't have to pay the actor that high of a fee because he has shares in it. You won't have to pay
yeah,
the well because everyone is invested, and you all get to do something that you can push out. That being said, for once this thing is over, I'm probably going to be putting out more of the content creation things that we're doing, opportunities for people who want to collaborate with some of the stuff that we're doing. Other upcoming actors who might not necessarily get the role in the biggest cinema film out there. I will still be able to
yeah,
find roles for you. I will still be able to find jobs for you on my sets. I will still be able to find things that you could do. So if there's script writers who have things that you think you want to put out, no worries, bring it over. You can have the script. You maybe don't have the money. Bring it over. I'll be able to help you out. You might be a great camera operator, but you haven't been hired yet. Reach out, and there's definitely something that we can do. You might be an amazing actor who hasn't gotten the opportunity yet. There might be a role that's amazing for you. We're not gonna wait for people to hand us roles or to give us like um anything. Because no one's ever gonna just come and say, "Hey, you're so amazing, take this and run away with it." No, man, you're gonna have to work for it.
Yeah, amazing. So, guys, I hope you've all been blessed. It's been a powerful conversation. Hearing your story, hearing how you cross-carpeted from accounting and finance into acting, hearing about your persistence, hearing about how mentorships helped you, and all these things. It's been so insightful. I've learned a lot. I've been writing notes, and definitely, I'm sure anybody who's in the film industry, has learned a lot as well. And I personally feel like you said, media and film have the ability, or is probably the most powerful tool in telling the narrative
Absolutely.
about a nation. So thank you so much. People are saying that Ghana misses you. So I don't know when you're going to cross carpet back to Ghana, but I'm sure you're having fun in Nigeria. But what country do you think is better, though, Nigeria or Ghana?
I'll put it this way. Nigeria is a better place to work. Ghana is a better place to live.
Okay.
You can't have it both ways. So Ghana is a great place to live. It's peaceful. It's like there's not a lot of stress and everything, and you can have that kind of time. But there's nothing that beats the productivity and the intensity and the opportunities that come with living in Nigeria. So you can't have it both ways. But as you're getting those opportunities, you're in traffic for 7 hours, or you're dealing with NEPA or whatnot. You can't have it all.
Don't give us a political answer.
It's never political. So that's actually what I do. So that's actually what I do. I stay in Nigeria for as long as I can.
Yeah.
And everything. But reality is the place, it gets to me. After like a couple of months, I'm like, yo, like, I want to just, so then I leave. Well, then I go home for like a week. And then I calm down. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm ready to face Lagos again. Because I didn't grow up in Lagos. Maybe people who grew up here, they know how to handle the madness. But the madness here, it kills me.
Wow.
So it's not even a political answer. I'm being dead serious.
So
Nigeria.
Ghana's more calm, because I've never been to Ghana. Of course, I'm from Nigeria.
Oh, Ghana is way more calm. Yeah, way more calm. Way more calm. Way more calm. But Nigeria has more opportunities than you can find in a lot of places in the world, which is why most people are
Say
here.
Ghana, say Ghana, say
Take
Ghana. There's more opportunities in Nigeria than Ghana. Just say Ghana.
Yeah, I said there are a lot of places that we get out of here.
So, guys, thank you all so much for joining. Bro, thank you so much for joining. I'm literally going to call you right now because I need to laugh. So I'm going to call you.
Yo, so let me sell you off because I feel like they're waiting to find out what
No, there's nothing to find out, man. There's nothing to
No,
find
no,
out.
no, 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 no. So can we know you? Can we know you?
You can know me if you go
Yeah.
on my page.
Hello. No. Drop your questions, guys. I'm the one hosting now. So those of you who had the questions, drop them. Questions. There are no questions. They say, can we know you? Tell us about yourself. Tell us. Somebody
I'm
said, where did you
25,
come from? Uh
I'm
huh.
25 years old.
Uh huh.
Um, born
Uh
and
huh.
bred in the UK.
Come on.
Of Nigerian descent, of course. My parents are Nigerian.
Uh-huh.
Um, grew up in Nigeria. I've been to boarding school. I'm from Port Harcourt, River State.
Hey, okay. For some people, hail the guy. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rivers. Um,
Uh-huh.
I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor as well.
Got you.
I'm a pastor. If you ask the brothers, OC and OZ, they'll tell you about the movement SPAC Nation in London.
Uh
It's
huh.
powerful. It's amazing, helping a lot of young people come off the street and everything. And I'm also an unconditional offer holder at Oxford University.
Okay.
And I'll be studying anthropology from October. So that's me in a nutshell. If I want to
Got you.
keep it short and
Got
sweet.
you. Got you. Okay.
And I think that's enough for everybody to know.
No, no. This is Pastor Daniel, Holy Grace.
Gifty, you're just annoying. But bro, I think we've
Oh,
reached the hour. So
yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man.
we're good to go, bro.
Thank
I'm
you guys
gonna
for-
give you a call right now. Let's
Yeah,
continue this conversation.
thank you guys for coming through.
Yeah. Thank you
And
all for coming through, guys. And watch out my page tomorrow. I'm going to literally release a video tomorrow about the next phase of interviews and things that I'm going to be doing with new generation Africans. The last 6 weeks I've been doing everybody in different industries, and things like that. But I'm gonna come up with something totally different, and I want you guys to be a part of it. So just watch my page, and you guys will be inspired. So thank you all so much.
Yeah.
let me
Go.
let me take you off.
Guys, peace
Please,
out.
please, please. You guys are terrible. You guys are absolutely terrible. But thank you all for joining. Like I said, watch out on my page. I'm literally going to be releasing a video tomorrow, telling you guys what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks. We're still on lockdown here in the UK. I'm not sure how it is in Africa, but yeah, watch my page. It's going to be powerful. You guys are amazing, but you're also annoying. But thank you all. Awesome. Pastor Nikki's online. Pastor Nikki, come, let's go live. Request. Let's talk for 5 minutes. Pastor Nikki. Daniel, wait. Hold on. Is Pastor Nikki on? Let's talk. Do you have holy... Pastor Nikki, we've got 5 minutes. Come online. Send a request, please. We're fighting. No? This live has been great. Awesome. I usually come off, but because this is going to be my last one, this is going to be my last one for about a week or two. So I thought, let me just stay and I'll talk next week. Okay. You guys need to hear from Pastor Nikki. She's amazing. She's amazing. She's doing amazing things. She's doing amazing things. Do you mean Pastor Tony or Pastor Toby? Click on her comment and add her. But yeah, guys, she's doing amazing things here in London. Well, Nikki, I hope you're also a hand. No, she's a female pastor. Yes, Swanky. Pastor Nikki is a female pastor. She's a pastor in London, pastors over about 100 young people, and she runs a business as well that will be coming to Nigeria very shortly, and everything. So, guys, watch out. I'll come live with Pastor Nikki either this week or next week, or I'm going to have a lineup of women in business and everything like that, and she will definitely be on the panel. Interface Africa is on. Guys, follow Interface Africa, the next biggest thing in media in Nigeria. It's going to be amazing. How's Pastor Toby? Pastor Toby is amazing. He's fine. He's well. If you were on Instagram or Twitter yesterday, you would have seen Pastor Toby's interview with ZZ Mills. Amazing interview. Everything you want to know about Spike Nation. It was powerful. I think at the moment it's on about 120,000 views. Powerful interview. Find out the great works that are happening in London through Spike Nation. Everything's explained there. It's amazing. But I'm gonna go, guys. I'm gonna go now. It's been awesome. Cool Tony Tones. We'll do that another day. Today's been awesome. Yeah, thank you all for joining. Thank you all. It's been great. It doesn't say save. Where is it? Does it say save? No.